Yeah.
Hey, we're live.
We are
Thank
live.
you for the information.
I will.
Oh, that was a little bit snippy.
Yeah,
Thank
really.
you for
Jeez.
the information. I did hit the button.
Maybe Greg was about to reveal some industry secrets.
Yep.
Like what? What do you got? What do you got, Greg? Reveal! Come on! Reveal!
Which former Ziff Davis people have scandalous goings-ons?
Uh-huh.
You know? You don't know.
I don't know which one.
You were about to know, and then you said, "Oh, we're
yeah
broadcasting now," and that was the end of that.
No, I can never find out. I can never discover the truth.
Yeah. We'll call him Said Remrad.
Said Remrad.
Sid Ramrod? What?
Yeah. Well, that was his online name. Yes.
Rock Hard Chest.
Nah.
You know, I found a picture of me sitting at one of the old EGM desks in the Lombard office.
Yeah.
Was so the door?
Was it a door desk? Or was it an actual desk?
It was an actual desk. It was not a door desk.
Okay.
And damn, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. I don't know if you know this or not, but you have gotten old.
I know.
Was it your own cube?
It was my own cube. Yeah, it was. This was after I was news editor at GameSpot, or like the liaison, online liaison between GameSpot and EGM, which was a fun time.
When I was first hired at EGM, I had to share a cubicle with poor Sean Smith.
Yeah.
Poor Sean Smith is right.
Poor Sean Smith.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just about right. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like, go cram yourself into Sean's cubicle. He can deal with you.
You want to see the picture I dug out? Hold on.
I do.
You goddamn right I do.
Does he have it like printed up?
Yeah.
See if I can find it.
He printed it on his color printer on just regular paper.
He didn't even want to waste a sheet of photo paper for this one?
No.
Okay. Wait, what the? You got it filed away? I figured
he didn't realize he had to go to his basement to get it.
Yeah, I thought he'd have it on hand. Is that a GameSpot jacket over his chair?
Yeah, haven't you noticed that he's had that over his chair forever?
Yeah, but he's always sitting there.
You can always.
What did I have?
GameSpot jacket.
Your GameSpot jacket.
Your chair. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been there forever.
It has.
So
I also have my EGM version of this same jacket.
Yeah, I was going to say the EGM jacket had the exact same design. It's just a lighter blue, right?
It did. Yeah. All right.
Those are great jackets.
Check this picture out. This is so ridiculous.
Oh, look at
that.
Look at the Ranma posters hanging in the cube.
Oh my God, baby CJ.
Look at that.
Look how you're still massive, but you look so young.
What's that?
I know.
What's that circular design on your computer there? Is that
it's like a?
That was the matrix you used to create.
It's a sticker. It's a Tekken
Quarterman.
It's a Tekken sticker.
Yeah. Oh, is that like a meant to be on the PlayStation lid? Probably.
Yeah.
That seems about right.
Very possible.
That's two Ranma posters I'm seeing, right?
Two Ranma posters?
Is that right?
You're right. No, one's a Maison and Koku.
Oh, okay.
Two Ranma.
Oh, that's Godai and Godai and
what's her name?
Oh my
and
gosh.
What's her name?
Godai and what's her name?
Yeah.
Jeez. I'm getting
We're getting old.
Stream.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That was a fun picture. Yeah, I look like a baby. Anyway.
I wonder who took that picture.
Good question.
Yeah. Well.
I don't know.
Send out a message on the old Ziff Davis Discord channel.
Is there one?
I don't.
I'm not invited to it.
I don't know. I don't really know how Discord works. So
okay.
Did that sentence I said even make sense? Is that such? I mean, could there theoretically be an old Ziff Davis Discord channel?
Theoretically, yes. There's
an
IRC vid games Discord.
Is there?
No, is there really?
There is.
Oh, I need to go find that. Maybe I don't know about it because they don't want me to know about it.
I'll send you an invite.
I was not part of the IRC.
No, you weren't cool enough.
Crowd. No, you weren't cool.
No, I got hired based on my own merits and not this IRC nepotism.
You mean based on the fact that you were friends with Sean Smith?
I was going to say, I feel like...
Well, he didn't get hired based on the IRC.
True, he got hired because he was
hundreds of reviews. And...
he got
Joe Funk's cousin.
He was dating Joe Funk's cousin. Yes,
dating Joe Funk's cousin.
This is the insight into the soft underbelly of Ziff Davis right here.
Yeah,
how'd you get hired? Well, I was best friends with Sean Smith, who was whose cousin? Ed Samrad's cousin?
No,
Joe Funk's cousin.
Yeah. No, dating Ed's boss. Thank you. He was dating the big boss's cousin.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So
it's all about who you know.
It's exactly.
Or whose car you washed, I heard.
Wait, what?
I heard rumors about cars being washed.
I didn't hear that one.
As part of work duties, managerial duties.
Was this a Semrad thing?
I'm not saying who it was.
Because that sounds like a Semrad thing. But...
I think it was Semrad making someone do it, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. Good thing this is all
that was
not being
before my
recorded.
time. Yeah, it was before my time.
Yeah.
At the car wash.
Hello and welcome to episode 653 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, May 14th, 2019. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from Canada, Mr. Greg Seward.
I'm buying all the loot boxes up before they're banned.
As which you should.
Yeah.
You should. Yeah.
And then you can resell them.
Yeah, I'm gonna resell them
3 times the price
for 20 V-bucks.
20 V-bucks. Wow.
They're gonna be the exact same price. I'm just gonna jack up the cost of V-bucks.
Oh, think of that.
See?
Wow, smart
noodle right there.
Smart. And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty well, dude.
Oh, okay then.
That's all I got.
Are you having a good Mother's Day?
I am having a great Mother's Day.
Excellent. Having a great single dad's day.
Did you call your mothers?
I did.
I
did. Called her on the FaceTimes.
Oh, good. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Did you fire up some Vanilla Ice Live in the background?
I mean, that's the only way that I word to your mother. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
You know what I miss, TJ?
Yeah. What?
That clean 5.0 you used to ride around in.
Oh, boy.
EGM deadlines at about 3 a.m.
I feel like that wasn't really, that was really just when you and I were there. I don't feel like we listened to that a whole lot. But yeah, there were nights when CJ and I were there past midnight and CJ would fire up the whole, what was it called? Was it just Vanilla Ice Live? Or?
Vanilla Ice, I think it was called like Extremely Live or something.
Extremely Live.
Yeah. Vanilla Ice can't just be live.
We just cranked that puppy.
Wow.
We crank it.
And the best parts of it, well, I mean, because the music wasn't the best part for obvious reasons, but the best part was the chatter on stage.
Definitely.
Talking to his crew. And that was one of the, you know what I miss.
Anyway. Like
clearly interacting
Rob
with the
Van
audience.
Winkle impression there.
Yeah, clearly interacting with the audience wherever they were recording this thing.
Yep.
I like that almost every track started with "Oh yeah."
Of course.
The 90s. So funny.
Of course.
Anyway, let's hop right into the news. Let's talk about this legislation being introduced regarding banning loot boxes. That's right.
The ESA has to get off their butts and start lobbying a little harder.
Seriously. Yes. So U.S. Senator Josh Hawley is going to introduce this, and it's called the Protecting Children from Abusive Games Act, and it would prohibit offering randomized rewards to players through microtransactions, manipulating a game's progression system to encourage players to spend money, or giving players who purchase microtransactions a competitive advantage over others.
In unrelated news, Fortnite and Overwatch to be re-rated by the ESRB as M.
Yeah, really.
Thus sidestepping this minefield.
But actually, when you read more, and I'll link to the GamesIndustry.biz article in the show notes, but really, I think this is mostly targeted towards mobile games. Yeah. Like, obviously, Fortnite and games that have loot boxes are on consoles, but in particular, Hawley called out Candy Crush, which is, of course, a game on mobile that a lot of kids play that has a $150 purchase, bundle purchase that, of course, you can You can blow through it along.
What's the name of that $150?
The Luscious Bundle.
No, say it right.
That's value.
That's also my nickname. I'm Luscious Bundle.
Luscious Bundle. Chris Luscious Bundle.
Now that's one right. Luscious Bundle.
Some people call me that. My wife.
I really? Wow.
No. She plays a lot of Candy Crush.
Does she know about this?
No.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right.
If we can get her on the air and refer to you as my Luscious Bundle, I think we need to do that right now.
Well,
call her in. So. Call her in.
No.
I'll say this though. LJN is very lucky that this Protecting Children from Abusive Games Act was not around back in the 80s.
Why is that?
That's pretty funny.
But because they made terrible games.
Oh.
And their LJN's video game catalog was so dire.
It was
back at that time that one could exaggeratedly call it a form of child abuse.
I played that Back to the Future game that they put out.
Right. So you get my
bees.
Yeah, you get the.
I get it. Yeah,
you get the joke there.
Yeah, I thought it would have been funny.
There was a joke there.
You know, recently Mortal Kombat has come under fire for having a lot of like microtransaction stuff. I thought it would be pretty hilarious if. Or a nice coincidence, I guess, if like legislation about video games is brought up again, this time not about violence, but about loot boxes, and Mortal Kombat is again at the center.
Can't help it.
Pretty funny, actually.
Can't help it.
25 years later, or however long it's been. Yeah. But so that's the thing that's happening. And I honestly hope that the industry takes this as a warning shot and get serious about self-regulating, and if that's not on an ESA level, you know, it could be something that first party gets more involved in, and you know, requiring disclosure of drop rates and things like that. I obviously this thing has gotten some attention. I think something needs to be done.
I think though, when you say stuff like that, when you say like sharing drop rates and things like that, that to me, when I read that article, that's not what this legislation that they're is calling out. It's not calling out gambling in general. It's calling out gambling in games aimed at children and protecting children from gambling.
Yeah, and I totally am in agreement with that. Like games that are cartoony and like Candy Crush have $150 purchases in them. I remember when the App Store first started doing microtransactions, that Smurf Village game was a big offender.
So it's one of those kind of town building sims.
Yes, but it really encouraged you to spend money in.
Which I think, and that's what I was saying, like, because I'm looking at it, and you look at games also, like, I think you're right that it's aimed a lot at mobile games.
Yeah.
But when you look at things like Overwatch and Fortnite, those are rated T. So
they are, but this is talking about, even adult rated games that have microtransactions that could be purchased by.
But you keep saying microtransactions. It's not. It's loot boxes.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. We have to be. This isn't like from what's written there. It's not an all-encompassing. Let's kill microtransactions.
Wait, are you saying that there's a difference between the definition of microtransaction and loot boxes that shouldn't get confused by anybody publicly?
Only if you're a powerful CEO. But
only if you're
it's magic.
Let's call him our Pitchford.
And
anyway, but getting back to what I was getting at there is that I think that means that this will also catch up Overwatch and Fortnite because they're rated. They are T. They're clearly aimed at minors,
and Fortnite's on mobile.
Yeah. So it's definitely going to be a thing. And I'm not against it at all. I mean, you do want to protect children from those practices. However, I think another point that is going to come up a lot, because they're also saying, and protecting children from loot boxes in games that are aimed at adults, you're going to hear a lot of, well, don't give them the credit card,
right?
Lock off the, So anyway, should be interesting. I mean, I think it was a matter of time before this sort of thing was going to happen. So
of course
it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. All right. EA Access is coming to the PlayStation 4. and I know you guys are excited about it.
What's EA Access?
So this is a program where
I know what EA Access is.
Yeah, okay. You can get early access to some. I think it's all actually EA titles, like 10 days early.
Mm-hmm.
You get discounts on EA games, and there's also a vault where you can play catalog games from EA. Okay. So yeah, you get a nice discount. There's a 10% discount on digital purchases, including season passes, DLCs, and all that stuff. So yeah, coming to PS4.
Finally. Is this some sort of separate launcher on the console?
No.
It's like a separate store that I have to go through?
It is a separate store, yes.
Oh my goodness, it begins.
It begins.
How do I manage?
It's not a separate store, it's just a separate service.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like launching into Netflix.
Yeah.
Hulu.
Okay, I see. Yeah. But I want all my games in one location, though. I don't want to have to launch.
Well, they are on your PlayStation 4.
Yeah, and at least the way that it works on Xbox, because I have EA Access, you can add the titles to your library and just play them off of your My Games. But you don't need to load into the launcher.
Oh, okay.
Each time,
because I'm getting very confused otherwise.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, and I think actually EA Access is, if I recall correctly, it's like integrated into the Xbox storefront. So if you're in the store, and you happen upon a title, it tells you have a trial with EA Access and play 10 hours of new games.
So I mean, it's supposed to be a good service. I know, like Mike Phillips and Rich Grisham,
they're into it.
People who totally swear by it, especially if you're big into each year's Madden or FIFA or NHL. You get to play that early. You get to play it for free for a while.
Yep.
Being able to test drive that stuff is great. Sometimes 10 hours is enough.
Sometimes 10 hours is enough. I played Burnout Paradise Remastered on EA Access and didn't have to buy it.
Why? I mean,
not that I would have.
What? Yeah. Again.
I
mean, you've only bought it like 5 times so far.
Only twice.
What is? I went to this this website, the EA Access website that you linked to in our show notes, Christopher.
That's right. Right.
And I'm looking at, they have this a video at the top of the page, and it has the thumbnail image is separate.
Yes.
Separate images from, there's like a Sims picture, and there's a what is it, Battlefield with the lady with the gun, and then there's Football Fellow, and there's like this bootleg Nathan Drake.
That's a way out.
A way out. Yeah.
What is a way out? It's
a co-op game where you're breaking out of prison and you're both playing you're playing together in real time, but usually you're like completely different areas and completely different tasks.
Okay.
Remember
it was the crazy guy
on the Game Awards.
Yeah.
Right.
That's that game.
Okay. Yeah. Because that just looks like fake Nathan Drake, right? Am I wrong in that?
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Looks like bootleg, like mobile game version of Nathan Drake.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That was the one game I didn't recognize.
Okay.
So,
speaking of games you don't recognize. Wow. Bad.
What game don't I recognize? What game don't I recognize?
that is a labored.
Because I'm looking at our notes here, and I recognize Final Fantasy VII. I recognize Medieval.
Yeah.
I recognize like Mario.
I'm skipping down. I'm trying to find a story that fits this segue. I'm going with the creators of the Super Mario Super Show had plans for Metroid and Castlevania. So
I recognize all 3 of those games.
Yeah, but okay, so they did promo art for these to
you could have gone into the Predator game, because it's
we'll talk about that in a second.
You guys stop talking over each other.
No,
yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
Okay,
I want to talk about these cartoons.
That would have fit the segue, is what I'm saying.
Here's what fits the segue: the Super Mario Brothers Super Show people.
Yeah,
we're pitching other video game shows. One of them being Metroid, and if you look at the promo art for Metroid, Samus is clearly a dude.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, girls didn't watch the game, right? Cartoons.
Yeah.
His name is Samus.
Yeah.
Sam.
Starts with a Sam.
Samuel Us.
To be fair, I personally feel like it's probably has everything to do with somebody somewhere in a boardroom saying, well, but it needs to be a boy or else we won't have good ratings.
Of course.
But I wonder though if there's also a more innocent explanation where nobody friggin' knew that Samus was a girl.
Well, no, that's I'm sure it is 100% that.
You think?
Nobody knew.
Oh yeah, I do. Okay. I'm sure whoever pitched the show
had no idea.
Had a list of like top selling NES games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And said, "Oh, this Metroid seems very popular. Let's look at a screenshot of it. Okay, there's a dude in a
made the assumption that it's a dude.
Of course,
Samus which
we all did.
Which we all did.
Yeah.
I mean, the manual for the game, if I remember correctly,
I think refers to
either refers to Samus as a dude or is just like leaves out any sort of gendered pronouns at all.
Yeah.
To kind of conceal that fact, but yeah, I mean, from what I understand, and maybe I'm misremembering or just lying. The Captain N show, where you ended up with like green Mega Man. From what I understand,
because they had no idea who Mega Man was.
Well, the reason like someone saw it was like, show me a screen. This Mega Man game is popular. Let's see a screenshot, and someone got a crappy picture of a Mega Man game where the color was all screwed up. Yeah, and it just like, oh, okay, it's some green robot kid. Okay, let's do it.
Easy.
What I really love is when you look at that Metroid picture, it's clearly just someone illustrating the end of Aliens.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, so we have art from Metroid, California Games, Double Dragon.
I love the California Games image, by the way. Amazing. Especially there's a dude in the background about to bail on his dirt bike, and it looks like some kind of arrows or rockets following the shark. I don't even know what those are.
I think those are just like I think those are little fish. I think they're just like little, like little
like them.
Flying.
Take a look at that Castlevania art too.
Castlevania art is amazing.
Has
honestly
really nothing to do with anything.
Easily be an illustrated poster for Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah,
think about it.
Yeah,
the character design for the Castlevania looks very European.
Yeah,
it looks like a UK comic, just the way the facial expressions are and everything.
Okay,
it looks like some sort of UK comic.
Okay,
and Double Dragon, by the way, the font for Castlevania.
Oh yeah.
Double Dragon. The dude, the main. I don't know if it's Jimmy or Bimmy who's in blue, but that dude in blue is getting a lot done. He's kicking one dude, he's punching another dude in midair, and
then the third
getting a lot done.
Third dude's about to jump kick him, but he's got the other arm up to block it. So
I mean, he is
TCB
everything.
Yeah,
TCB taking care of business.
Although I'm looking at this California Games picture.
Yeah.
And you got presumably the cast of the show.
I guess. Although that little caveman looking dude at the front, I mean, he looks like a caveman. He doesn't look like.
Well, I figure because he's got his dog there who has the same hairstyle. So I'm guessing he's like the stoner dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's like the kind of the old
Shaggy's voice. He's got Shaggy's
he's
voice.
The old Bert. Now it's probably more like an old hippie.
You think?
Hey man,
maybe
between Shaggy and
curl, dude. Behind him you got the cool kid spinning the beach ball
like a basketball.
Yeah, he's the cool kid.
Of course, he's the black kid.
Yeah, of course. You got the bimbo girl. She was probably going to be the airhead,
who I believe is probably the only character on here that looks anything like any character that was in California Games.
Right. You got the kind of cool nerd dude behind her.
Yeah. That's Normie from Normie's Beach Paperama.
Makes sense.
That makes sense. Yes.
Although the girl, is her left arm kind of growing out of her chest?
No, she's just got a lot of hair covering that shoulder.
Okay, yeah. I'm just looking at her torso placement relative to her arm.
Yeah. And here's another cameo. The shark is from NES Jaws.
Oh, perfect. That makes sense.
And they got Excitebike in the background.
Huh?
This is where Excitebike jumps over the sand.
And I think the surfer dude, who's actually like kind of who doesn't seem to understand how surfing works.
None of them do.
He's just walking through the water carrying his surfboard.
Sure.
I think he's clearly a cousin of Captain N's Castle, Simon. Belmont.
Simon, yeah.
He's got that big dumb, airhead dude.
It's missing. It needs more green dog. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
So,
yeah. Speaking of Excitebike, this week we're getting some new NES games on Nintendo Switch Online, and one of those
is versus Excitebike.
Versus Excitebike from the Famicom Disk System.
Yeah,
coming over.
There you go.
Along with Clue Clue Land and Donkey Kong Jr. So
there we go.
Clue Clue Land.
Donkey Kong Jr. is terrible.
So is Clue Clue Land.
Yeah.
I like Donkey Kong Jr., but what do I know?
Donkey Kong Jr. is
better than Donkey Kong 3.
Okay. I played some Donkey Kong 3, and I know, Phil, you were sort of dissing it.
Sort of?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Game's terrible.
I had no problem with it. No problem.
It's unfocused.
Well, I'll agree with that, but it's not as bad as I was led to believe.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying.
It's unfocused.
So Tetris 99.
That's the one.
I've heard of it.
It's a free game with Nintendo Switch Online. We've got some DLC that dropped. See how I did that? I dropped like a block in Tetris.
Oh, I get it. It's a Tetris joke. Yep.
Did it?
It's a play on words.
Yeah. Did it clear the line?
Well, that's up to you. Do you want to pay?
Now you're just belaboring the whole thing.
Do you want to pay $9.99 for the big block DLC? It gives you offline modes, so you can play Battle Royale against bots if you're not into playing against real people.
Warning:
winning for once.
They're not real robots.
How do you know?
That is just a term that they use to describe artificial intelligent computer players. Robots do not actually play the game with you.
True.
Well, I'm not paying for this thing.
I have put in a request for a refund with Nintendo's customer service, and I've yet to hear back.
Okay.
So
the other is just classic marathon mode.
Yes.
So that you can play Tetris,
which is great.
Tetris.
But I mean, I have that in about 12 different other games I own anyway. But
not on the Switch.
So how much is this DLC?
$10.
Yep.
It's a pretty good deal.
And there's also there is more modes coming in the future.
There are.
That's correct.
Yeah, there's a second batch of new modes at some date in the future.
And they're having in-game events. One of them coming up, I think this weekend actually, is a Maximus Cup. And if you play during that weekend, regardless of where you place, you earn points. And if you get 100 points during the weekend, you get a classic Game Boy Tetris skin for Tetris 99.
Yes. I might have to play that.
And it looks pretty great.
It really does.
That is the best version of Tetris. So
yeah,
it's true.
It's pretty great. I hope that this theme, as they call, I believe the in-game term is theme as opposed to skin.
Right.
I hope that this theme includes Game Boy music.
Oh, that'd be good.
I really hope it comes with the old kind of chiptune-y.
I can't.
Music.
So this this in-game event. Do you have to have gotten the DLC to?
No.
Oh,
I don't
sweet.
think so. No.
I'm not gonna, I mean,
Yeah.
CJ already bought it, right?
No, I didn't.
Really?
I've not bought it actually.
Oh,
yeah.
I absolutely bought it.
Did you?
Yeah,
I did.
Yeah, but you're not CJ. It's more fun when CJ buys
it. Why would you think I bought it? Because I buy everything.
Because you buy everything like that. Usually, right after you say, "I'm not going to buy this."
Well, I haven't bought it yet.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
It's coming.
Yeah, probably. All right. So Sony had a state of play presentation. This is the second one that they've done. Went up last week, and they promised that we get an extended look on Medieval and the introduction of a new title for PS4. And we got a couple other things in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But So first of all, I want to talk about Predator.
Yes.
Predator Hunting Grounds, which I assume is the new title. Although any of these other titles could fit that bill, certainly. And Predator is a asymmetrical multiplayer game, meaning like a 4v1 or one versus I don't know how many people. That's being developed by Ilphonic, who worked on the Friday the 13th game.
Ilphonic sounds like the greatest hip hop video game company of the mid 90s.
Yeah. And licensed by 20th Century Fox. And Sony is publishing this one. So they showed kind of just generic soldiers walking through the jungle, and then the Predator kind of uncloaks. That's it for the teaser. And I watched it and I'm excited about it because I really enjoy asymmetric multiplayer games. But I really hope that they don't just have like random military dudes as the player characters. Like I want like film style Schwarzenegger or Carl Weathers. Like
I hope there's at least one of them that wears gigantic glasses and tells really off-color jokes.
Sure. That too. Like I hope they go like full 80s with at least some of the content in the game. Because that would be awesome. Fantastic. I would be even more all in on the Predator game if they do that.
Yeah.
I'm all in on it already, but throw in some 80s stuff and I'm all over it.
CJ.
Yeah.
Is that a Calvin and Hobbes set behind you?
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see, right over here.
There it is. Yeah.
Boom. Yeah.
Didn't know you're a big Calvin and Hobbes fan.
Yeah, I am.
But sorry, we're talking about Predator.
Just caught my
eye. When I think Predator, I think Calvin and Hobbes. So
of course, yeah, naturally. So yeah, Medieval coming out on PS4 October 25th. Do you guys have any particular nostalgia for Medieval?
Bounced off that game pretty fast back when it came out.
I do not.
It wasn't bad, just wasn't. It didn't stand out in any way. I find it odd that it's getting such a big push. Personally, but
I have zero nostalgia for that game.
Me too. Yeah, but cool, I guess. For those who do like it. Even cooler though, we got a new look at the Final Fantasy VII remake.
You know what I'm going to say? That's not as cool.
You're going to say that's not as cool?
Happy with it?
Huh? No, I just don't. I don't give two poots about Final Fantasy VII.
Two poots.
Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy VII, I think, is a pivotal game for a lot of reasons. I think people bought into PlayStation because of Final Fantasy VII, because of the advertisements that had only footage from the CG.
I do remember that. I had a friend who was a manager at the Sony store here. Were Sony stores a thing down there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We don't have them here anymore. I don't know if you still have them down there.
We don't.
Okay. No. Anyway, manager at the Sony store here, and he was telling me, like probably 2 months after, they sold just a ton of Final Fantasy VIIs, said he had so many customers come in and complain,
right,
that it just wasn't what they were expecting.
Right.
Not that it was a bad game, just wasn't what they were expecting.
Well, it also introduced a lot of people to RPGs after they bought it because of the cool CG in the commercial, and then it so happened that they liked the genre. And
it was. I mean, I think it created a bunch of RPG fans for sure.
Oh, definitely. And the thing I'm worried about, I guess, with the Final Fantasy VII remake is that they will, instead of sort of revisiting the old school RPG gameplay of the original, that they will like add a bunch of systems to the gameplay and really make it a more modern JRPG, which is going to be fine for some people, but that's where RPGs lose me. So
isn't it supposed to be more like an action adventure?
They showed some combat gameplay in this in the trailer, and it looked like an RPG, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, they're releasing it episodically as well. So it's going to be in parts.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Which that's sure to work out just great since we've waited so long for any news on.
Well, I mean, at
in
least
general.
something will come out.
Yeah. Then the thing with this teaser is they showed a bunch of stuff and then said we're going to reveal more in June. So I assume at E3 we'll see more.
I mean, I'm interested. Final Fantasy VII is not my favorite Final Fantasy. I liked it though. I thought it was pretty good for what it was. I definitely liked the first hour or so of it more than the rest of it. I wish they sort of stayed in that setting a little longer, but I'm still interested in this.
I'm interested as long as the systems in the gameplay aren't
I hope they don't overdo it.
Complicated.
Sure.
We also got to look at Away, the survival series, where you play a sugar glider, dealing with all
that was my stage name.
All types of wildlife and threats, including spiders and snakes and all sorts of other stuff. This looks pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's just in Tokyo Jungle.
No, it's not Tokyo Jungle.
Man, remember Tokyo Jungle?
That was such a good game.
Tokyo Jungle was so great. Man, I want a new Tokyo Jungle.
That's never happening.
That's probably never happening.
It's not.
It would be great if they announced that.
I love Tokyo Jungle.
Then we got some more information on the Monster Hunter World Iceborne expansion, which is coming out in September, and River Bond, which is a voxel shoot and slash with a bunch of indie crossovers. You got Shovel Knight in there. You got what else?
You gotta look it up.
Guacamelee. Yeah, I gotta look it up.
It's the same batch.
Bastion, Psychonauts, Enter the Gungeon. Yeah, it's whenever there's an indie crossover, there's usually these same.
Can I say
video in there?
Indie crossover stuff just
no Captain Video
doesn't impress me anymore. It seems like seems like a solid third of all indie games are just like, we have every other indie game character in here as well, and it's always like it's like, guess what? Shovel Knight's in this one too. Guess what? Here's Bastion Kid. Just like,
well, if you're a fan of those games,
great. Sure. But I am. I love Guacamelee.
Yeah. You don't want to play as the Guacamelee character in
he has a name.
He has a name. Yeah, do you know his name, CJ?
Shovel Knight.
That's actually correct.
That's better than the guess I was expecting.
His name is Juan.
Oh yeah?
Juan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Riverbond. In the trailer it just said Shovel Knight.
Guacamelee 2 is on sale right now, by the way. I need to pick it up.
I believe on what? Switch?
PS4.
Okay, I think it's on sale.
I think it's too, but PS4.
I think it's on sale on Switch too.
Yeah.
I gotta get that tonight actually before I forget about it.
Those are really good games.
Love those games.
Yeah.
Well, loved the first one. Haven't played the second one. Now
second one is also quite good.
Oh.
Yeah. Out of this, I'm really excited about Predator and Away.
I love that Predator's a thing.
I love that. Yeah.
I mean, just in the same way that it was really cool when Friday the 13th was announced.
I love seeing 80s movies brought into video gaming.
Yes.
They need to make a Running Man Battle Royale game.
Action movies especially were scientifically just better in the 80s.
Yeah. Get the Darwin Project developers to do a Running Man game since they have that whole director.
Why would Running Man be a battle royale though? It's not like that wasn't the rules of the Running Man game show. They didn't throw 100 people into the maze.
I'm just tacking that on to a very popular genre of today. You see, that's all that is.
It would actually the Running Man would be an interesting asymmetrical multiplayer game.
Yeah. I like Darwin Project.
Aren't armed.
Darwin Project is only 8 player characters and a director player.
Would you have a team of players playing the stalkers.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and then another team as the contestants.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that'd be interesting.
Or have one player directing the stalkers. Yeah.
Like one player like issuing commands,
issuing
of things,
commands.
or?
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Very
similar to Darwin Project. If you've ever played that, it's a very good game.
Is that what Darwin Project is? Is that what it's like?
What Darwin Project is like. Okay. You have a director character that can give advantages or disadvantages to certain characters, and it's like 8 players.
Or the other thing we could do, just remake Smash TV.
Remake Smash TV.
Yep. I'd love to play Smash TV again.
The Running Man game would require maybe the L2 button would be used to throw out a quippy insult.
Yeah,
against the current stalker. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Sub-Zero.
Now Plane Zero. Elect bulb. Christmas tree.
I gotta watch that movie again. It's so good.
Honestly, just put Jesse Ventura in it. I don't care what else you do.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it for news. So we can move on. I think so. Do you got anything else?
Running Man some more.
Yeah.
So we can get into what you've been playing. So Phil, why don't you kick us off?
I'll be back.
Only in a rerun. He was great.
Oh, Richard Dawson.
Oh my God, there were so many great performances in that.
He was top notch in that movie.
Oh, man,
yeah, that's good stuff.
So good.
Phil.
Yeah. What?
You wanna get into what you've been playing?
Yeah, man. I've been playing some watching Running Man. Well, I actually watched Running Man a few months ago.
Yeah, I probably watch it every year or so.
Yeah,
that's just a good time.
It's a good movie.
It's so bad.
Yeah,
it's so bad, but it's entertaining.
Oh man,
it is entertaining as all get out. What have I been playing?
Cola.
Hey, you know what? I played some Tetris 99.
What?
Yep. I don't know if you guys heard. They just released some DLC.
I did hear that in the last segment.
Yeah, for Tetris, and I was just like, I'll pay $10 to have Tetris.
Sure.
Have a fuller, thicker, more robust version of Tetris 99 on my Switch.
Okay.
So I did. I'm curious what the other future modes are going to be as well. But yeah, that's great. And I booted it up again because I haven't played it in some time. Yeah, and to be fair, I actually haven't played it that much, even when it first came out.
Yeah.
But I really want that Game Boy theme, so I was getting a little practice in.
Nice.
I'm okay. At
I imagine
Tetris
the Game Boy theme is not going to be that difficult to get.
It's not.
You need 100 points.
You need 100 points, and I saw.
Oh wait, we do this right now. Should I be playing right now?
No. It starts next weekend. So yeah, starts I think on Friday.
Okay,
and then goes through the weekend, and it actually, again, it depends on your skill.
It's going to take me a while.
Okay, because I saw a point breakdown. Because depending on where,
Point Break. So.
No. That's a different
movie.
The depending on how good you are and where you place, you earn different amounts of points. And actually, if you're very good and you get first place, you apparently earn 100 points for that, which will instantly get you the theme.
What do you get for like 95th place?
A point.
Just going on my average here.
Point
play 100 times.
You may have to play 100 times.
I'm never getting that theme.
I will.
I imagine you will.
Come on. Given my average score, I will probably have to play 10 matches in order to get it.
Yeah.
Because I usually place somewhere in the teens. Yeah. Which will net you about 10 points. So.
Okay.
So it's not going to take too long. It's not a terribly difficult.
No, it's not a long game
goal to achieve unless you are very bad. At which point, like I said, you'll be earning like 1 point a match.
Yep.
But yeah. I also picked up a little game this week called Ninja Gaiden.
Ever
hear of Ninja Gaiden?
Ninja Gaiden.
For the arcade entertainment system.
Oh, did that come out? The Arcade Archives?
Arcade Archives Ninja Gaiden.
Gaiden, yes.
Where everyone discovered that the arcade version was nothing like the NES game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Arcade Ninja Gaiden came out this week. Came out on Switch and PS4.
Mm-hmm.
I picked it up on Switch. Because of course I did.
I remember playing that game.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yes.
And thinking it was pretty bad.
Well, it's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's a little question. Back in the day, back in the mid to late 80s, were you even aware that there was an arcade version of Ninja Gaiden?
No, not at all.
I was.
It was after that. I think you know what when I found out that when I figured out there was an arcade version was when I saw that there was a Ninja Gaiden on the Lynx.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because that was the arcade version
of the arcade version.
That's right. That is right.
Yeah,
and for quite some time that was the only home port of the arcade version, right?
I want to say, and I would have to go check this out. I am almost positive that there was an arcade port planned or not advertised, but showing up in previews for either the Genesis or the Turbo.
Oh, really?
And they did a Game Gear version of Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, but that was more
based
along
on
the lines of the NES game.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, and like Ninja Gaiden 3, the NES Ninja Gaiden 3 showed up on the Lynx as well, but which was weird. I was such a strange thing to happen. But yeah, I that was when I found out that existed.
Right.
And I always wanted to play it. And then when I don't remember when or how I finally got the chance to play it, and I just remember thinking like, this is kind of shitty.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, no, it was weird because I no arcades near me had the Gaiden arcade machine. I played and loved the NES version. But yeah, for those who haven't experienced it, the arcade version is just a side-scrolling brawler. So it's a Final Fight clone,
and not a good one.
That is also true.
Yeah, it's not. I didn't dislike it because it was a brawler instead of what the NES game was.
Right. It's
that it wasn't very good.
Yeah, it's not as good as like the Final Fight or Streets of Rage or like the TMNT game or anything like that. Right. But I picked it up because it's a Ninja Gaiden arcade machine and it's kind of a weird novelty, and so I was playing a little bit of that, and it remains not terribly good, but an interesting piece of history, if nothing else. So I'm glad it exists.
You're an interesting piece of history.
Are you glad I exist?
I am. Thank God every day that you exist.
Woo! I feel validated now.
I'd buy you for $1.
Oh
wow!
Although to be fair, Ninja Gaiden was, I believe, $7.99.
No, I wouldn't pay that.
No, okay.
I'd wait until you're on deep discount.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
How about if you could exchange some of your gold My Nintendo coins for me?
Yeah, I would absolutely consider that.
Okay. Yeah. I will accept that gracefully. But yeah, that's really all I've been playing in terms of kind of new stuff. I'm playing a little more Picross S3.
Me too. You know what? Let's talk about that for a little while though. Okay. I'm really digging the Color Picross.
Have you never played one of those Color Picross games before?
I played the demo of whatever the other one on the Switch was.
The Pick-a-Pix or whatever. I think it's Pick-a-Pix.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Just the interface, or
I don't know what it was. Yeah, I think the interface might have been,
because I mean the rule set is the same.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There's just something about, maybe it is the interface that but I'm really digging it. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fun.
More than I thought I would.
Yeah. It's definitely fun. Mega Picross?
No,
still garbage.
I won't even touch it.
Still garbage.
I tried it when I bought this. I tried it once and basically had that exact same reaction. Like, yeah, I still hate this.
Yeah, no, it's I do not know why they insist on continue it because I've never met anyone
who likes
Mega Picross. But whatever. But yeah, the color stuff is fun.
Yes.
You know, like I think I've said this before. I still prefer the traditional black and white. Yeah, but
it's an interesting diversion, and it's one that I find entertaining.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I've been playing a little game called Shakedown Hawaii. Yeah, this is the developer who did Retro City Rampage, which I know you both love. But this one doesn't have any sort of references to retro games, and instead it's more of like a Grand Theft Auto game, but top down, and has more arcadey controls for sure. It actually really reminds me of the style of like late 80s, early 90s Midway games, with some of their like font choices being like all caps, but they're all caps, but the capital letters are a little bit taller. And or maybe it's also like late 80s, early 90s Atari, like APB style. But so far, anyway, I'm having a lot of fun with the game. It's sort of crime boss style game, like sort of like GTA, but you bounce between like the main character of the game and his son, and there are different vehicles to play, and it's mission based, but each mission has its own like unique setting. And you can also buy different locations in the city, so you can start making money by purchasing land in the city. And you can also shake down businesses and make them pay you protection money.
So it's Vice City.
And basically. And yeah, and that's pretty fun too. You go into the shops that you can shake down, talk to the person at the counter, and sometimes they don't go peacefully. They'll have like a bunch of people pop out and just start shooting at you, and you have to react to that. Or you just go around smashing shelves in the store or the toilets. And after you smash the toilets, they'll relent and be like, okay, please, not our bathroom.
Do they just kind of yell stop, and then they're like, I am sorry. I was wrong.
I was wrong. Very Rumble in the Bronx.
There you go.
Yes.
You're all garbage.
You're all Rumble in the Bronx reference for CJ there.
That's right. No, but it's just a really funny satire of GTA style games and retro games, and I actually am having quite a bit of fun with it. So I know Retro City Rampage was not the cup of tea of some of you guys.
That was a terribly designed sentence.
Either of you, Mike?
I know it was not the cup of tea of some of you guys.
I believe the term.
It is you who are the ball.
It is you who are the ball lickers. Allow myself to introduce myself.
I believe the term was that it was a retrocity.
Retrocity. That was a Mike Phillips.
Mike Phillips.
Retrocity.
Yeah, but this one I think is better for that. It's not just doing the Ready Player One reference to all the things you love about retro games. So it's a pretty fun game worth checking out on. It's on multiple platforms, but I bought it on the Switch because of course I did. Anyway, but I think it's coming out for the Vita as well.
Oh, for God's sake!
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming out for everything.
I believe Retro City Rampage came out on DOS.
It came out on everything as well.
Yeah. I mean that's not a bit. I believe they actually ported it to DOS.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So
and then I've also been playing Sea of Thieves because of course and I'm only a third of the way done with the Tall Tales Shores of Gold single player in quotes, the story mode that they added to the game. So I'm having a lot of fun with that. Yeah, that game's awesome. Anyway, we had a couple of close wins. We had one where we were winning for most of the match, got sunk right at the end and slipped into second place. And there was a minute left in the match. and for some reason, the ship that was in first sank, and we got back into first. Like it literally within the last 20 seconds of the match. It's crazy.
Say that's great.
It was crazy.
Good to be there.
But still really liking it. Anyway, that is all I've been playing.
I haven't been playing a whole lot this week, although continuing my adventure game sort of chronological play through. I started playing Manhunter New York this week. Did you ever play that, Phil?
I played some of it. My pal Jim, Jimmy at the time, back in
not Bimmy.
No, not Bimmy. Bimmy was his brother, and he was like a shadow boss.
Okay.
No, my pal Jim had an Apple IIGS back in junior high, and yes, Manhunter New York was one of the games that we would play on there. So
yeah, it's kind of like an oddball. It's a Sierra game, but it's not made by the crew at Sierra at the time. It's something that they published for another team. And it's just so it's all about this. The interface is completely different. You don't see your character on screen walking around and using their text parser interface. None of that stuff. It's more like a point and click. Although, and I don't know if it actually supported the mouse back in the day because a lot of games didn't. It was actually this came out in 1988, and I'm finding that most of the adventure games that I'm playing late 1988 was around the time that they started actually supporting mouse movement, at least in the Sierra games.
Yeah.
Like the Mac Venture games were all mouse driven, but either way, so you're like moving a pointer around, but you're moving it around with your arrow keys, which is a little bit weird. But it is interesting. It feels way more like almost like a visual novel. Like every scene is from a really interesting, different perspective. Usually a lot of it is done in real time. It's got like an active cursor that will change based on what's happening around it and underneath it. And yeah, I like it. It's all about it's all about a future where these aliens attack New York and take it over, and they're just floating eyeballs.
Yes,
because of course they are. And you play a manhunter, which you're actually human that works for the aliens. So they give you jobs every day to hunt down somebody who's committed a crime, and then you have to report back to them to tell them who you think actually perpetrated the crime. Although I think there's a bigger overarching story there. Although I haven't finished it, I only played the first half of it. But yeah, it's interesting and different, and it's one of the reasons why I've been playing through all these old adventure games, just to sort of experience sort of the way that they developed over the years. And I was starting to get into I've already played through Maniac Mansion, and I'm going to be getting into more LucasArts stuff very soon. And actually doing some Japanese stuff as well. And 1988 was also the year that Snatcher came out on the MSX.
Really?
So in a few weeks' time, I do this on Monday nights, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. In a few weeks' time, I'm actually going to be starting up the MSX version of Snatcher, which I'm really excited to play because I played the Sega CD version 100 times, and I know of the differences, but I'm interested to experience the differences there. So yeah, and then next week I'm going to be playing Neuromancer, based on the Gibson book. So not the Naked Dancing Ladies one. That's Neurodancer
for 3DO.
Yeah. No, I only play that when I'm streaming directly to Mike Phillips. But yeah, anyway, it's been interesting. I didn't play much else this week, but that's the only other thing I played through Streets of Rage 2 and that stuff. Although I did release a video this week on one of my YouTube channels, beginning my top 100 games countdown. We should put in the show notes. So I was playing a bunch of that stuff too, but I'm not going to say what it was because you should go watch the video. It's only like 10 minutes long. CJ's not going to watch it, but he'll put it in the show notes.
I'll put it in the show notes. If it's on your YouTube channel, I'll put it in the show notes.
And also want to call out, as I do every couple of weeks, I'm going to be streaming Franchise Hockey Manager 5 this coming Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern over at Twitch TV/OOTP Developments.
Nice.
So come check that out, please.
Yeah. Alrighty. I think that means it's time for tweets. Okay. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias, a Nutcracker, who says, if you were only allowed to play any games beginning with one letter of the alphabet, what letter would you choose? Personally, I couldn't do without the Souls series, so I'd have to go with the letter D. I'd get Dead Space, Deus Ex, Darksiders, Dragon Warrior.
It's an interesting way to decide on what games you get.
Of course, I'm going to go with the letter S because that includes Sea of Thieves and all of the titles that begin with the word super, and that includes
that does seem like cheating, doesn't it?
An awful lot of Nintendo games start with the letter S.
Yeah, I was going to say an awful lot of words in general start with the letter S. So
going with that one.
Well, see, now I don't want to go with S because that's too obvious.
Yeah.
S.
Yeah, really. S seems to be
Streets of Rage and Sonic and
all the Super Mario,
Super anything, Super Metroid, Super Castlevania, Star Fox. Take a leave Star Fox, but
I mean,
Super Monaco GP.
Part of me wants to say M for Mega Man, but
that's like where my mind went immediately.
What else is
Skies of Arcadia? Soul Calibur.
Yeah. S is a
good one. Street Fighter
choice. Yeah, you get all the Street Fighters, all the Super Street Fighters.
Yep.
DuckTales,
Spider-Man. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Going with that easy S.
Going with the easy S. Let it roll in the easy. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes.
That's right.
Let it ride.
The easy S.
Did you guys have another answer?
No, I think this might be
this is the answer.
This is the end.
There's nothing.
I mean, I really like Xevious, and I really like.
He's gonna ride with X. He's got it.
X.
Xenophobe.
Yeah, Xenophobe.
There you go.
Yeah, and
X-Men. X-Men in there. X-Men.
You can play on the X Band and get
X-Men games.
Yeah,
games with that. Xbox something. I don't know.
Mm.
Anyway,
Xbox Music Mixer.
There you go. You get a lot of entertainment about with that one. Yeah.
M would give me access to all to make my video games.
Oh well, there's only 3 of those, but
and well, yeah. Then I get Mega Man. I get Mega Man and to make my videos
and Maniac Mansion.
Oh, that's true.
Oh well, Mortal Kombat.
But
Metroid
not Day
Prime,
of the Tentacles.
Missed.
Metroid.
Mario is missing.
Finally,
just reading the chat.
Reading the chat.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Chat went with them.
S. I also get Sam and Max Hit the Road.
Oh,
see?
Which again,
can't do without that.
Top notch.
All right, Hacker Alias Earthbound G-Man says, one last dance. What game franchise ended before its time and you would like to see revived with at least one more title? There are a couple that I would mention here. Alan Wake.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one, pretty great. Viva Pinata. I'd love to see another one of those. I think you could do a lot of fun things with that now.
What else ended before its time?
Dead Space.
Dead Space.
Yeah. Dead Space is a very good.
Wing Commander. They were just starting a trilogy when it ended.
Were they really?
Yep.
Oh,
Wing Commander. I even forget the name of it, but the first one after 4. That was when Chris Roberts was done, and then they started a new Wing Commander. They were kind of passing the torch. Mark Hamill was in it, and he died in a cliffhanger ending. We thought he died. He disappeared, and then they killed the series.
Boo.
Yeah, it was right around the time EA killed Origin.
Too Human, says the chat. I agree with that.
Prophecy. That was the name of the game.
Too Human.
Yeah. Too Human.
My God. Really?
That game. So that game has an absolutely laughable plot. Its cutscenes are hysterically funny to me, but the gameplay itself, I actually really liked. It's kind of a Diablo game, with interesting control scheme. So
yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
They're supposed to make 3 of those.
That's right. It was part of a trilogy, wasn't
trilogy.
it?
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, the back of the box says the first installment of an exciting trilogy.
Oh boy.
They were all in.
That's like Mac and Me promising a sequel.
Or Floygan
Right at
Brothers
the end.
episode 1.
Oh jeez, yeah.
That
That would be my.
Wasn't it you that was like completely stuck on the fact that was called Floygan Brothers episode 1 in your review?
Possibly.
The one that went on and on about that.
Possibly. I also trashed the game. I
So
feel
presumptuous.
You did, yeah. But it seemed like you're trashing it because they put the words episode 1 in the title.
Yeah. Where's the rest of my game, man?
Speaking of trilogies,
releasing unfinished games.
Mega Man Legends ended on a Legends 2 ended on a massive cliffhanger.
Oh, did it really?
That will probably never get resolved.
Never be resolved.
I mean, there was like a 6-month window when they were like, "Oh yeah, Mega Man Legends 3 is a go," and then they.
Well, it was in development, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Then they DS or 3DS.
3DS, yeah, and then they canned it. So boo on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sure eventually the ROM will leak and you'll get to play it. If they got that far. Anyway.
I don't know.
Let's go on and do this one from Hacker Alias Cappy2112, who says, which games did you decide to pick up and play despite mass negative reception, but realized they were freaking awesome? For me, there are a lot of games that I'll pick up despite negative reaction.
Yeah.
Including Too Human, Friday the 13th, Sea of Thieves, but I played the closed beta of it and already knew that I liked it. Yeah. Blue Dragon.
I feel like the thing is though is that all 3 of those examples that you cited there, and I think for all 3 of us kind of were the same way, or at least used to be. We tend to pick up games at launch.
Yeah.
And we'd never really paid attention to, like, you decided well ahead of time that you were buying those games no matter what. It didn't matter what the reaction was. And you were playing it early enough. You were playing it early enough that there wasn't a big negative reaction. You were already playing by the time the negative reaction happened.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'll bet your GameSpot jacket that's exactly what.
I don't think so. No. Too Human was back in the magazine days where reviewers had lead time, and those reviews were not positive on that game. Not positive at all.
Okay.
Same with Blue Dragon. But anyway.
But I thought Blue Dragon was positively received.
No.
Okay.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Fan backlash.
People did not like that.
Yeah. I like it, but
I don't know. I don't pay attention.
Anyway, what about you guys? Mass negative reception. You like
that Godzilla game, that PS4 Godzilla game. I think I mentioned that a couple weeks ago.
Based on
any Dynasty Warriors game.
Yeah, that's also Musu.
Earth Defense Force. Generally doesn't get
Earth Defense Force people.
That doesn't get like a hugely positive response.
Yeah, but I mean, even the negative stuff is just like, yeah, this is kind of janky, but it's really fun. But we feel kind of bad giving it
more of a like, this is crappy, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Like ironic. It's ironically good. Mission failed in the chat said Project Sylphid and Robotech Invasion, which I got to applaud the Robotech Invasion side of that.
Yeah. Because you worked on that game, right?
Yeah, and the reviewers got it wrong, clearly.
Yeah. Were you going to mention a game there, Greg?
I can't think of anything.
You have no games?
Listen, I talk about how the Sega CD was the greatest system ever, so I think I've proved that I don't.
So basically everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alien vs. Predator on the Jaguar. I like that game.
That game was terrible, dude.
Game fan liked it.
Oh God. Game fan liked it.
Game fan liked it.
Boy.
All right. Speaking of that, Hackeralius Headcase Games says, interested to hear what were the biggest video game magazine rivalries, if there were any of note back in the day. How bad did it get? So I'll just say the biggest rivalry
was between Expert Gamer and EGM.
Yes.
Game Fan versus EGM was the biggest one, for sure.
Yeah.
But it seemed one way. At least
I don't know about that.
I don't know that. And I mean, I was only there for like 3 years, but I don't know that we. You know what? No, you're right. Never mind.
Because it was a two-way street before like 97.
You're right.
It was a two-way street.
Yeah.
Game Fan more openly mocked EGM in its pages than EGM did.
Well, I mean, their comic,
their
Game
whole
Fan's
thing.
comic. It was like, the villain of the comic was a very lightly hidden EGM dig, right?
Yep. That's right.
That was definitely their shtick, though, right? I mean, the Game Fan traded on the whole, like we're the scrappy underdog that has no respect for the establishment.
Yeah,
you know, the establishment sucks. Come talk to us. We're real gamers,
right?
Sort of thing.
Cybermorph is awesome.
Of course, they went after EGM. It would have to be EGM or GamePro that they were going after at that point,
right?
Sure.
So
and GamePro probably wasn't their demographic, really.
It was always funny. Like when I was at EGM, that was the thing, is that GamePro was like always sort of the magazine we wanted to beat,
right?
Yeah,
but there didn't seem to be a rivalry at all because we were very different tones.
Yeah,
well, we didn't try to out GamePro.
Also, who was the guy running GamePro at the time? Wes
Nihei,
isn't it?
Yeah. He was just super nice.
Super nice guy.
The nicest guy.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like, should we say something bad about Game? No, Wes is so great.
Super cool.
He's such a good guy. No, we're not going to do that.
Yeah,
it was same thing with Game Informer too.
Yeah, those guys are all awesome. I loved every time we were at a press junket and there was Game Informer guys there. I just always loved hanging out with them.
Is there
Andy McNamara and Reiner and everybody, even the current staff are super nice dudes, just all around. And
well, I mean, let's face it, the current staff of Game Informer
is the old staff.
I mean, it's still Andy McNamara and Reiner running the place. And it's
You're
like,
right.
Industry where nobody has a long career.
Yeah.
Like the fact that there's some people there that are still there from like 20 or 25 years ago. Yeah. Oh my God.
Is there a nicer guy? Was there ever a nicer guy in the gaming press than Andy McNamara?
I don't think so.
I mean,
I don't think so.
A really nice dude.
Yeah. Andy Eddie's pretty nice too.
I always was bummed. I never had a chance to meet Andy Eddy. And
oh really?
He was my hero. Like growing up,
go back with video games and computer entertainment. Yeah,
especially with him, it was especially too because where I started getting more into the Sega side. He was one of the few editors who would write editorials, sort of call out Nintendo on things. But that wasn't the only reason I liked him. I liked that was one of the things too. But I just always really identified with the stuff he wrote, and I never ever got a chance to meet him, which I still regret.
He's still kicking around because he's now at PlayStation.
Oh really?
And
that's right.
He was doing store stuff while I worked at Adult Swim, and had a couple meetings with him. But I did get the chance to say, like, Andy, you're the reason I'm in this industry at all, because Video Games and Computer Entertainment was the magazine that he was editor-in-chief of, and they had a section that ran in the magazine occasionally.
The fanzine.
Reviews. And I read, I forget, October 1991 issue, I think. October or November, had something. I picked it up in an airport bookstore
to
read, and saw that fanzine thing, and I was like, I could make a newsletter. And I got so inspired to do that basically that is the point where the entire rest of my career in video games stems off of reading that issue.
How many of us are in that boat, right? Like, I mean, because I can't, I could say somebody like Andy Eddy was definitely the reason that I got into it as well, but also the early EGM crew, the early Game Pro crew, Game Players magazine.
Yep.
And video games and computer entertainment for exactly the same reasons, where I got old enough, and for me it was the internet was becoming a thing. It's like, I could do that job. Like I could, I have things to say about games. I could do reviews, but
also like
me, instead of a fanzine, it was starting a website. But
VG and CE in particular, I felt, there was more focus on the text.
There was,
right? Yeah, and it was more about the writing part. I mean, EGM was really all about screenshots.
Oh yeah,
and for good reason, because back then that was actually important. Which I mean, that was one of the reasons the Game Fan was so huge when it finally started to hit, because the screenshots were unreal. They were so clear and so crisp.
Yeah,
that was the reason my friends and I never bought that magazine for the writing. No offense.
No,
right.
I mean, they did have sort of they were very excited about games, and that was definitely nice to read. Sometimes. But we bought it for the screenshots,
right?
Because the internet wasn't really a thing,
of course.
So. Yeah.
Yep.
But
then also people like Chris Kohler did a zine as well, back in the day, and he's obviously still around. And it's so weird to think of like the people that are still in the industry, still writing about games or working in the industry that were around then. Like Tyrone Rodriguez of Nicalis, he did a zine back in the day.
Oh, really?
So,
we're talking 20-25 years ago at this point, right?
We're talking 25 years ago. Yeah, mid-90s. Yeah, this CJ right here in the old picture that I'm holding up on YouTube.
Yeah. When I was at Nintendo Power, Andy Eddy was working at Future. I forget exactly which publication he was on, but he was on one of the other magazines or websites. So I would see him constantly. So I
Somebody else has been around a long time and actually was just mentioned in our chat, and I definitely want to call this out. Nicest person in gaming press, Victor Lucas. Absolutely agree. One of the nicest guys you ever meet. Super, super chill, super down to earth. Built his own thing from scratch that's still going.
Yeah.
And I remember the very first time I met him. I didn't know him. He had no reason to know me. It was on a bus in San Francisco at some press junket. We were there. And like I said, never met the guy before in my life. I watched EP. I really liked it. And I was very new at the time. So I was a little bit nervous to even say hello to him. I'm sitting on the bus. He comes and sits down right next to me, introduces himself. And I say, hey, I'm Greg Seward. He goes, oh, yeah, EGM. I read your stuff. Really enjoy it. Like, wow, thanks, man. And there'll be years where, and we were never super close, but we'll go years without speaking to each other. And then if I happen to reach out to him about anything, he remembers who you are.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Like, he wants to chat with you. He's got the time for you. Like, just the coolest guy in the world.
I ran into him at GDC like 2 or 3 years ago. And this was after not having bumped into him since the EGM days. And he was like, hey, CJ, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing now? Just such a super awesome guy. Yeah. One of the best personalities. And
glad good job bringing that up there. Mission failed in the chat. That's don't want to overlook him. And he's another one who's been around for like 25 years.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. But rivalries, it was really only EGM and Game Fan that I can really remember. I don't remember any rivalries between any other folks.
I want to say maybe there was some small rivalry going between, because there was a while there where there were a few different PlayStation specific magazines.
That's true. PSX or PSM.
PSX and PSN or was it PSN?
PSM?
Whatever.
PSM.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah. Yes. But those guys also, like, you'd run into them at junkets and they'd be super super nice too. Randy Nelson. Yeah. Anyway, should we do one more?
So we took the question about rivalry and that's that here to talk about all the people we love.
We turned it into a love fest.
That's a question when you really think about it, right?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Let's do this pair of questions from Hacker Alias I finally watched, who says, what is the worst console you ever bought?
Ever bought?
I bought a Jaguar.
Did you really?
That thing is terrible.
I have a Jaguar. Or I had a Jaguar.
Poor design. It's got a terrible library. I know there's some gems,
Tempest.
but in general, it's got a terrible library.
Tempest
stands out as the best.
Yeah.
Man.
And yeah, I'd say that's probably it for me.
I guess 32X.
32X.
I guess 30. If we're counting 32X, well, I mean,
you have a Virtual Boy, right?
I do.
Yeah, wait a minute. I'm taking,
but
you have a Virtual Boy.
But what on? I mean, Virtual Boy has the Wario Land game.
I guess that's true.
What
Wario games are on the 32X?
What 32X game is better than Wario Land?
I mean, does it have to be a
Star Wars Arcade?
Debatable, but
no.
Are both pretty awesome.
You know, I have a 32X and I've never opened it. It was one of those like at the end of the cycle, it came with Doom and Star Wars Arcade.
Oh, right.
And so I have that, never opened it or used it.
Doom was Doom. It was a bad port of Doom,
right?
But it was still Doom, and it was a way to play Doom. So,
I think I bought my 32X for like
$20
$20
on there, and it was a really good version of Mortal Kombat. I think it was the best home version of Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah,
it had the blood.
I mean, that's not why I mean, but I mean, you know,
right?
Sure.
I'm gonna say the Bondi Pladia.
What did you? Okay. What about the new one? Did you buy a new one?
I did not buy a new one. I bought a new one for the office.
Bought the new one.
The office bought it.
But did you? Okay, so here's a question though, because when I said the Jaguar, I didn't buy the Jaguar when it was new. I bought the Jaguar when it was cheap and used.
I bought the Jaguar when it was new.
Okay, so that let's go back and say like anything you bought new at full price.
Okay, anything new at full price, maybe the Jaguar.
Let's say.
I mean, I'm still 32X because
you waited to buy your Virtual Boy anyway, right?
Yeah.
Although, could you imagine? Question: could you imagine spending how much was a Virtual Boy when it was
200?
Could you imagine
180, 200, something in that range?
Could you imagine spending $200 for that thing?
No,
oh my god.
Yeah.
Of course not.
My god.
The thing about the Jaguar, 3DO. I bought a 3DO when it was still full price.
Oh, see, I didn't. I bought my 3DO after it had gone through a price drop or two.
And I love my 3DO, but if I'm talking about, all the consoles I bought when they were new, that's probably the one.
Yeah.
Because I think for me too, the cost there was not just the price of the system, but I sold my Super Nintendo, Sega CD, and 32X, and the entire library for all three to afford a 3DO.
Don't do that.
Was Shelley Duvall's "It's a Bird's Life" worth it?
It was all Wing Commander. It was all
Road & Tracks, Need for Speed,
and Road Rash.
Yeah, Road Rash was great. I bought my 3DO right at the point they did a price drop, and then they also had like it was between two free game promotions. So actually, and since I knew the manager at Babbage's, I took advantage of both free game offers and got like some crazy amount of free games because they were already running one with like Total Eclipse and some other game, and then you could get the Jurassic Park game and something else. So I got 4 free games, and the price just dropped. It was nice, awful nice.
Maybe the 3DO, it had some gems as well. You knew Road Rash and Wing Commander and Need for Speed, and you had really good versions of Samurai Showdown and Super Street Fighter.
That is very true. That's very true.
A lot of people don't remember.
So I bought a Jaguar when it was brand new. Had a system transferred to my store at Babbage's because it was test marketed in like New York and LA. Yeah, back when they would do that sort of thing. And I bought the system. It came with Cybermorph, of course. And then we also got Trevor McFur in the Crescent Galaxy.
Of course.
Of course. Which, by the way, that game is friggin' terrible. It's so
weird
terrible.
It's weird for a Jaguar game.
No, I bought into the game fan rhetoric that this thing was like a great system, and Cybermorph was
to be fair, when you are on acid.
True.
When you're on acid, it seems great.
It's really
especially Cybermorph. The colors, man. Yeah, I bought into that, and Cybermorph was not a good game.
No,
at all.
Thank God there was a sequel.
Tempest 2000 was good. Yeah.
Tempest 2000 was the reason to own that system.
I
shouldn't say that. It was is the best chance. Yeah, no. I wouldn't even own the system for Tempest 2000.
It had a good version of Doom.
Oh, you know what? Doom. You know what I'd say about Tempest 2000?
What?
Mm-hmm.
And that's our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1 Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Stewart.
Working on one, but I'm having trouble writing it. It's this is a pretty nothing game. I'm trying to figure out something to say.
Which game is this?
I'm not telling you.
All right.
But it's rough.
Oh. Art Alive? Is it Art Alive?
Art Alive. Art Alive.
No, you already did Art Alive. You did Art Alive already, right?
No, Art Alive was a Genesis game.
Oh, you're right. Is it Woody's whatever?
Oh, no, but that's a good...
Wild Woody?
Wait, is it Racing Aces? No, you already did that.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's what I mean. You can't even think... You're thinking of the worst, least remembered games on the system, and you still haven't said it.
You're
that's
right.
how low this is.
You're right. Okay. I don't remember. Anyway, so you can also find Generation 16 episodes there.
Yes, and so the latest episode of that, I have completed the rough edit, and I went back and checked it out, and I really want to sort of, I'm doing another pass, but it's very close to being done. I'm guessing there's a good chance it'll be ready for early release to the $5 plus patrons next Monday.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Excellent. And you'll also find show notes and links to all the stuff that we talked about during this episode. And you'll also find within those show notes a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
I just looked up a list. I cheated. I looked up a list of the Sega CD games.
Oh, yeah, but you know what letter I'm on too.
Huh?
Do you know what letter I'm on as well?
I know the last game you wrote about on our site.
Surprise.
Well, I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
I mean, if anyone really wants to, they can look it up themselves. But okay. I won't ruin it. But I don't even remember this game.
No, nobody does.
No.
And then you play it, and there's no reason to remember it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to say about it except it's not good.
Although I will say, I'm looking forward to your episode after, or not episode, but your write up after this one, because that's a game I played a fair amount of back in the day. Strangely enough.
Okay.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up the podcast app on your Apple device. You can also head over to the App Store and invest $1.99
cheap
to pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application, which gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails, the Twitters, the what have you. You also have all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone telephone users, Player One Podcast iPhone application is available for $99.
Also cheap.
It's right there at the Amazon Android Marketplace. We're on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook. We are on Spotify. And you can watch archives of our show or check us out live most weeks on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast. Be sure to tune in. Follow our Twitter account. Find out when we will be doing our next live show. And if you've liked what you've heard, and how could you could head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. CJ.
Yeah.
You need more classic cartoon collections in your bookshelves back there. You got Calvin and Hobbes, but I'm not seeing the complete Peanuts anywhere.
They're around. There's various.
I'm not seeing the
wait.
Far Side anthology.
No. There's somewhere. I don't have any. I don't have Far Side. No.
Well, get on it, dude. Start misappropriating those Patreon funds. That's why I shout this out every week for you.
Right. Hmm.
But hey, Patreon friends, if you are at the $5 tier, you do gain access to a top secret episode. It's like Go-Go 13 up in here every week.
Yep.
Every week.
You get access to a Mayfac conspiracy of content.
Yes. Of player one proportions. We do our little after show just about every week.
Yeah, pretty much every week.
I think we missed
every week enough that we say every week.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
We play games, we tell jokes, we shirts optional.
Share secrets.
Yep. We work blue. Get all the
especially Phil tonight. He's got a real blue thing going on there.
Yeah, you do.
So listen up.
Yeah.
Here's a story.
No, we don't have time for it.
No.
About a little guy that lives in the blue world. I'll finish that song in the after show, friends. So
sure you will.
Won't you? Hey, if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to
patreon.com/generation
16.
I really got to find out what's going on with my website.
You do.
You can help support Greg Seward, his fantastic web series about North America's favorite second banana, the Sega Genesis.
Thanks, Phil.
Your Patreon dollars will go to help him get a new website machine.
Yeah. Here's hoping.
A distributor of websites. You need a new IS provider. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. CJ.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you, Phil.
Whatever.
Yeah.
No, I can't roll the R's if I'm chuckling. Hold on here. Okay. Gregory.
Yo.
There it is. Thank you, my dude.
Thank you, Phil.
Alrighty then. And of course, thanks to all our wonderful listeners. We'll see the cool ones in the after show. The rest of you can go.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would like to say that we appreciate all of our listeners.
We do.
Spin, cheapos.
Phil does not speak for the show.
No. I'm joking.
I don't know if you know this or not, but he was a guest host for the first 6 years of this show.
I'm poking gentle fun, as is our routine.
True.
I don't. Come on. You're all friends.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Toodly oodly.
Toodle-oo.